Good evening, everyone. I'm Bruce Dumont, founder of the Museum of Broadcast Communications, and welcome to the medallion presentation ceremony for the NBC's special exhibition, Salute to Advertising's Greatest Icons. Tonight, honoring the Raid Bugs, Ronald McDonald, the Jolly Green Giant, the Pillsbury Doughboy, the Keebler Elves, Charlie the Tuna, Morris the Cat, Mr. Clean, Tony the Tiger, and Snap, Crackle, and Pop. These 10 icons were selected from a long list by the NBC Advertising Advisory Council, based on their longevity and prominence in American popular culture. Each of these icons tonight were created and developed here in Chicago. And in our audience tonight, Mary Warlick from the One Club in New York is here. Mary, stand up and take a bow, a guest from New York. She is producing a documentary called Chicago Ad Town. So they have recognized the role that Chicago plays in American advertising, and we celebrate those icons tonight. Each of our icons has decades of success. Each has helped define a major brand for an American company. Each now has international reputation and a global social network following. Since 1987, the Museum of Broadcast Communications has traditionally saluted a television legend, legendary big stars of the small screen, like Steve Allen, Betty White, Larry King, Mike Wallace, Siskel and Ebert, and last year in this room, Dick Cavett. But none of those TV greats can match the massive exposure and success of those advertising icons we honor tonight. When one rattles off TV's most famous faces, the list includes Benny and Burl and Caesar and Gleason and Burnett and Seinfeld and Winfrey and Cronkite, Carson, Leno, and Letterman. Well, tonight we add a few more names: Tony, Charlie, Ronald, Morris, and Mr. Clean. Tonight we honor the 32nd stars of television. But television tonight, and this event tonight, could not have happened without the remarkable series of circumstances, including a chance meeting with a museum visitor by the name of Jarrett Nathan, the discovery of a dedicated volunteer researcher, Paul Kuritz, a passionate collector of television commercials, Steve Jakowski, an immensely talented art director with a passion for advertising history, Jim Engel, a talented Columbia College marketing intern who showed up just at the right time, Luke Cadulas, who did a terrific job of taking charge of the design of this entire exhibit, a meticulous record keeper who tracked down each icon, several hundred of them from corporations and collectors, Peter Rangel, a man who believed a great honor deserved a great medallion keepsake, which every winner will get this evening, and that's Ed Tracy. A driven public relations professional, Michael Schmerich, who understood the impact of the ad icons on pop culture. And a dynamic support team of logistics, editing, and promotion, Fabian Madrigon, Dylan Klauke, Ken Jurenberg, and Shannon Barnes, who all worked hard to bring this train in on time. Also an early helper, Wayne Kurzenga. Again, to this team, they took a great idea. They discovered a founding father as well. And he is a key figure in the story of how we got here tonight. A man who has been blessed with talent and success on and off the air. A man who wanted to give back to a city that has treated him very well. A man who stepped forward with a significant leadership gift that enabled us to give this good idea and future good ideas a place where the public can come and be enlightened and entertained. The man whose gallery we opened earlier tonight please give a round of applause to Paul M. Lisnick. Paul, thank you very much. On behalf of the Board of Directors and for future generations who will ever thank you, Paul, for your generosity in this leadership and your vision. And now, to begin our celebration of advertising's greatest icons, please welcome the man whose good idea unfolds tonight, the chairman of the NBC Advisory Committee, Jarrett Nathan.
Good evening, welcome. This is an impressive group. These icons, stars in their own right, are some of the most recognized faces in the country, even the world. Faces, be they human or animal or gnome-like or bug-like. For nearly 50, 60, 90 years, their familiar images have been synonymous with the brands they represent. Generation after generation, they have charmed their way into the homes of millions and millions of consumers. And what is remarkable, after all these years, they're still an important part of their brands today. They are an elite club of colorful characters. Stripes and solids, some multicolored and some white on white, giants and some the size of, well, bugs. They have captured the hearts of the consuming public by the sheer force of their signature personalities. They giggle and ho-ho-ho and clown around. They shout raid and they roar great. They have finicky attitudes and display good taste. They bake with magic ovens. They snap and crackle and pop in milk. And they are dedicated to making the world a cleaner place. They were and are masters of engagement, years before engagement became the industry buzzword. They've conquered every media channel there is, national TV, radio, print ads, coupons. They're on the fronts of packages, the backs of packages, special offers, limited time promotions, toys and watches and cups. You can even go and meet them in person. And in the digital age, they're all over social media because consumers have personal relationships with them. They're our friends, our buddies, our pals. Their appeal is universal, and their longevity, these stars have outlasted every show they've ever sponsored. Simply put, somewhere along the line, they have entered all our lives and stuck. They were created by some of the most talented people in the business, and they are nurtured by some of the smartest people in the business. Tonight, we are here to salute them. First, I'd like to acknowledge one of the very talented people who created one of these characters, Rudy Purrs, creator of the Pillsbury Doughboy. Rudy was extremely helpful in putting the histories together for this exhibition. There's a quote on the wall of the gallery, if you noticed it in the band. He says, from Rudy, he says, what makes a great icon? The picture, voice, character, and warmth, all in one package. Sadly, Rudy passed away last month. He had been excited about this event. But honoring him tonight is his daughter, Martha, grandson Connor, and granddaughter Peyton. They're in the back. Please stand. And now, as a special treat, we are honored to have three of Chicago's most celebrated voice talents. Are you on your way up, guys? These are the guys over the years have voiced many of the characters we're honoring tonight. They are Joel Corry, Jeff Lupetin, and Joby Cerny. They're going to come up and maybe give us a line or two. They have done Raid, Snap, Crackle, Pop. Joby is the voice of the Doughboy, I think, since 1985. And here they come. Joel Corry. Jeff. And Joby Cerny. You guys want to do a couple?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sure. Why don't you all join me in this this little song?
It's fun to put Snap, Crackle, Pop into your morning.
And of course, you know, I always wanted to be a bug that was being chased and about to be annihilated. So it sounds something like this. They're gaining on us! Let's do the yell. Right!
Come on, Joe. We all want to hear it. You know what you have to push on this?
Go ahead.
Thank you.
And now on with the show and back to Bruce. Bruce, are you here?
Thank you, Jarrett. The next thing that I would like to take just a moment is to explain to those who will be accepting an award this evening, after the presenter has introduced you, there will be a commercial that will play prior to that. During the screening of that commercial, if you would make your way to the side, we would appreciate it. To begin tonight, I would like to say that we welcome a very special person who's going to make the first two awards this evening. He's going to make the presentation to the Raid Bugs from the S.C. Johnson Company, and also Ronald McDonald, who welcomed guests tonight on the bench outside State Street, and I know he joined us for dinner. I wasn't quite sure what he was having for dinner, but I know we've got a McDonald's shake over here on the side for you. Please welcome a longtime friend of the museum, one of America's most reported entertainment reporters and highly represented and recognized film critics in the country from WGN Television and WGN Radio. Please welcome Dean Richards.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And just so I can clarify right now, because probably about a dozen of you have come up to me already here tonight, I am not Mr. Clean. Every bald guy is not Mr. Clean, all right? As Bruce mentioned, I am the entertainment critic for WGN TV and radio, and I just want to hop on the bandwagon. How about those iconic voices of advertising that we just heard a moment ago? Amazing. I don't want to brag, but since 1991, I have been the voice of one of the most iconic television commercials in Chicago. Let me give you a little bit of it right now. That old car is worth money. Come to Victory Auto Wreckers today. It's me. It's me. I don't want to brag again. I got like $20 to do that voiceover, which was about $20 more than that poor sap got when the door, opened the door and it fell off. That guy was a tow truck driver at Victory Auto Wreckers and got nothing for it. So I join you, my brothers in advertising voiceovers, here tonight. Just real quick before we start, I want to acknowledge somebody who was here from one of the most popular television programs in America. If we could just ask, LaRoyce Hawkins is here from Chicago PD on NBC, and it's wonderful to have him here. LaRoyce, there he is. Nice to have you here with us tonight. Thank you for coming. Love you guys. Love these guys, and we love that they bring work to Chicago film and TV people and keep the industry alive and vibrant here in Chicago, as these commercials have in Chicago, and put Chicago on the map as one of the great advertising capitals of America. First up that we acknowledge tonight, those humorously distasteful bugs that have been outsmarted by Raid since S.C. Johnson invented the category in 1956. That was the year. Okay, you're applauding cockroaches, you know that, right? Just want to make sure you know. That was the year that Foot Cone and Belding in Chicago came up with Raid's Bugs campaign, animated bugs, that would scream "Raid," as we just heard a moment ago, when they saw the product, because they knew what was coming, a huge cartoon explosion that would kill them dead. They were first produced by the legendary animator Tex Avery and voiced by the legendary Mel Blanc, who gave us Bugs Bunny and so many of the classic characters from the Warner Brothers cartoons. Then starting in 1963, they were distinguishedly perfected by artist Don Pegler. For over 50 years, Don gave them human characteristics and personalities that took the bug humor to a whole new level. Bugs that we love to hate. Take a look.
Bugsy sent me.
Okay. You place your bets. It's a raid. Raid! Whew. This wall'll protect us.
Don't bet on it. Raid Ant and Roach Killer has penetrating vapor, goes behind walls, through cracks and crevices, and kills bugs dead.
Some bad. Hey, picture, but no sound.
Raid Ant and Roach Killer keeps on killing, even after it dries.
Accepting the Greatest Icon Award for Raid Bugs, the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of FC Johnson, Fisk Johnson. Come on up, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is really wonderful recognition for the many people who have worked on the Raid brand over the years. And we've got many people in the room who've worked on it. People like Mark Pacini, who worked on our account for 28 years, or Rick Steinman, who was the copywriter for a lot of our Raid commercials for many years, Jarrett Nathan, and many others. But the person I really want to recognize is Don Pegler, who started working on Raid back in 1963 and really was a creative genius that really brought the bugs to life. Don once said that, "I'm the only man paid to bring bugs to life so my client can kill them." And Rick Steinman told me that at one point Don was sometimes, he thought that Don was modeling the bugs after people in FCB that he wanted to make fun of. So Rick decided to ask Don about it, and according to Rick, Don's response was, "Haven't seen yourself yet, have you?" Anyway, we're thrilled to receive this award. I'm thrilled that many of Don Pegler's children and grandchildren are here tonight for this recognition, because Don was truly the creative genius behind the bugs. And I lastly just want to thank the many SC Johnson people and the team from BBDO, some of whom are here tonight, who are currently keeping the great legacy of the Raid Bugs going. So on behalf of SC Johnson and the team here tonight, thank you. We are thrilled that the Raid Bugs are being honored alongside all these other great icons. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, for our next honoree, a couple of connections with this one as we honor McDonald's, and Ronald McDonald in particular. Many of you know that we at WGN-TV, we were the home of The Bozo Show for 40 years. And we produced a 2-hour documentary, Bozo, Gar, and Ray WGN-TV Classics, which airs every year on WGN. You can see the exhibit right here at the museum honoring our Bozo Show. And McDonald's ties in with that because that all started off, the Bozo Show that was in Washington, D.C., was hosted by Bozo, played by Willard Scott, who became the weatherman on the Today Show. When their Bozo show was canceled in the early 60s, McDonald's had such great success with Bozo as their spokesperson, they wanted to continue with a clown spokesperson. So Ronald McDonald was created. Willard Scott stepped in and was the very first Ronald McDonald. That was in 1963. The local franchisee there and the agency came up with the concept. Ronald McDonald, the hamburger happy clown. Willard Scott, of course, went on to the Today Show. 3 years later, in 1963, Ronald and his bright yellow and red jumpsuit went national with network commercials, and suddenly there were Ronalds all over the country making local appearances. We all loved him in McDonald land with his pals Grimace and Mayor McCheese, battling the Hamburglar, as we know. Today, his official title is Chief Happiness Officer, in charge of fun, but he is the same happy clown that we've known all of these years, trading in the yellow jumpsuit for a little more of a contemporary look. Take a look at Ronald McDonald.
Attention, everyone. The boys and girls will be here at McDonald's any minute now. Hamburgers, yummy-yoso. French fries, goldenissimo. Coca-Cola, bubbleando. Bravo, beautiful. Thank you, all of you. Each hamburger, every French fry, and Coke. We're ready. Where are the kids?
Classic. Classic. Accepting the Greatest Icon Award for Ronald McDonald, the Senior Director of Global Public Relations for Ronald, David Zlotnick. David, come on up. And also a friend with him as well. Come on up.
So thank you. On behalf of McDonald's, thank you to Bruce and the museum for honoring Ronald as one of advertising's greatest icons. Ronald occupies a special place in pop culture and in people's hearts and minds that will allow him to remain an icon forever. Ronald brings to life the fun of the McDonald's brand and shares that joy and provides comfort with all the families and his work he does with Ronald McDonald House Charities, the smiles and the joy that he spreads to everyone. So thank you again for this great honor, and thank you, Ronald.
Thank you. I'll keep this.
You may.
You know, first of all, I'm so happy to get a Dean's List A, which is really nice. But there is another Chicago connection. I don't know if Dean knew about this, but Ray Rayner also was one of me. Yes, he was. Thank you very much. This is a great honor. Thank you.
Thank you, David and Dean and Ronald. Our next honoree is the Jolly Green Giant. Presenting the next Ad Icon medallion is a member of the Board of Directors of the Chicago Advertising Federation, who is also Director of Brand Marketing at Discover, Kelly Meagle.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. It's a very exciting night to be a part of advertising with all these amazing icons and presenters. So thank you very much for having me here. The Jolly Green Giant actually first appeared on the label of a large bag of peas that was packaged by the Minnesota Packaging Company. Back then, he actually wasn't so jolly. He was grim and he wore bearskin. But he is now today the oldest icon that we are honoring tonight. Created in 1925, that makes him over 90 years of being a brand symbol, an amazing achievement. It was one of the first accounts for Leo Burnett, so Leo decided to take on the giant himself. He was the one that actually brought the jolly to the Jolly Green Giant. He made him friendly, and he gave him the leafy couture more befitting of a vegetable company. He was so popular that in the 1950s, they actually changed the company name to reflect the Green Giant. From there, Leo created a valley of helpers that the giant could oversee, one of them, most notably, Little Sprout. But all of us can always remember the Green Giant for his ho, 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 Green Giant. Let's take a look.
Mighty fine likeness, Sprout.
Aw, it's easy drawing the giant's mushrooms, 'cause you can see them.
That's why he packs them in jars, so folks can see how extra fancy, plump, and full of flavor they are. They come whole or sliced, delicious, Green Giant brand mushrooms.
Like them?
First rate, Sprout, but you can't top the giants.
Ho, ho, ho. Green Giant.
He did a little beefier than I did on that ho, ho, ho. Accepting the Greatest Icon Award for the Jolly Green Giant is Marketing Manager of General Mills, Karina Sabra.
Lowered a little. So thank you so much. We are honored to have the Green Giant recognized as one of these iconic characters amongst all of these great characters. You know, I think General Mills is probably the only place where if you hear ho, 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 you don't instantly think of Santa Claus, you think of this guy. And over the years, as we've talked about, he's really come to stand for the goodness and embodies that living goodness of the brands and the vegetables that we sell under Green Giant. And so with that, we'd like to thank everyone for the recognition. We're truly honored.
By the way, a reminder, I know when we had this great picture downstairs, the photo op with all of the icons together, we had hundreds of pictures being snapped by either professional photographers or, for the most part, with everyone's cell phones. So when you send those pictures out, not only send them to your friends, but send them to the museum website as well, and we will just continue to keep this going in between now and October 31st. We now move forward to the next icon who has been a favorite in grocery aisles and a major American pop culture figure for over 50 years. That was referenced earlier. It is the Pillsbury Doughboy. To induct the Doughboy, we welcome one of the stars of NBC television's smash hit dramatic series Chicago PD, the pride of Harvey, Illinois, LaRoyce Hawkins.
How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? We having a good time so far? It's a pleasure to be here. Before I get into my lines, I just think it's important for me to talk about how surreal this moment is. Believe it or not, Joby Cerny was a powerful guest speaker at my classroom way back in the day at Illinois State. And by way back in the day, I mean like 2 or 3 years ago. But it was the words of Joby Cerny who told me in my class that it's important to have fun, and it's okay to make irresponsible decisions, especially if you can make a career out of that fun and those irresponsible decisions. So Joby Cerny, I appreciate you, brother, for because I've obviously been pretty irresponsible since we last talked. But I'm going to get into this. We all know what popped into the imagination of Rudy Purge one weekend in 1965 while sitting at his kitchen table. The Pillsbury Doughboy. In 3 short years, this pudgy little guy won over the hearts of America and the minds of consumers and achieved an 87% brand recognition. Ever so talented, the Doughboy over the years has played a rock star, a ballet dancer, an opera singer, just to name a few. He reached such heights of popularity that he was asked to guest star in commercials for other companies, Geico and MasterCard. For 50 years, this warm and friendly character, along with his famous tummy poke and giggle, has maintained every bit of charm that originally captured America.
And who are you? I'm Poppin' Fresh, the Pillsbury Doughboy. May I have this dance? A house smells so nice when you bake in the oven. You bake something warm and fresh in the oven. Nothing says lovin' like something from the oven, and Pillsbury says it best.
Nothing smells so good as crescent rolls made from poppin' fresh dough. Nothing looks so good. Golden brown, light, and flaky. And nothing tastes so good as fresh home-baked crescent rolls. Try Pillsbury Crescent Dinner Rolls in the dairy case, made from poppin' fresh dough.
Nothing says lovin' like something from the oven, and Pillsbury says it best.
And see, I don't have that kind of luck with women. I wish I did. Accepting the greatest icon award for the Pillsbury Doughboy, making a return visit to the stage tonight, the marketing manager of brand for General Mills, Karina Sarba, and friend.
So we are honored to have the Doughboy recognized here, and we want to take a moment to remember Rudy Purrs, who came up with this idea when he imagined a dough character popping out of one of those cans of Pillsbury refrigerated dough. And so from that, the beautiful Doughboy was born. After his first commercial in 1965, he rose quickly to fame, and this year we're excited to celebrate his 50th birthday. From the very beginning, he stood 8 3/4 inches tall and has been dressed in that beautiful hat and neckerchief, which is a word that I've never thought of saying before. But most importantly, he's the helper to cooks everywhere, and he really does strike a chord with generations. As we saw today, he did an entire tour of Chicago and was stopped by people everywhere, and people just really delight in him and all that he stands for and poking his little belly. So with that, we want to thank you again for this recognition. Thank you.
I cannot tell you how many times in my life someone has poked my stomach and expected me to laugh. A personal favorite. Thank you, Karina, and again, thank you very much for LaRoyce Hawkins, who's just doing a terrific job on a terrific television show, Renewed. And again, if you've not tuned into Chicago PD, that role is expanding, and he's knowing what to do with it. Our next ad icon are the Keebler Elves. And whether you like their cookies or their crackers, you can fight over that or like them both. Presenting the medallion are the co-hosts of Chicago's most news-savvy morning drive time team from The Answer, AM 560. Please welcome Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
Hello, this is a light, this is a microphone. How's everyone doing? Let's hear for Keebler. Who likes fudge stripes?
Long before Orlando Bloom popularized warring elf Legolas in The Lord of the Rings, kind of a geek alert there, we had the Keebler Elves. The Keebler Elves are based on an unusual premise.
A family of elves makes their cookies, crackers, and snacks in magic ovens in a hollowed-out tree that I always wanted to go and see firsthand.
Too tall to live in.
Yeah, I couldn't even get in there.
For over 45 years, that premise has captured the imagination of consumers.
Ernie, who knows Ernie? He's the star elf. He wears the master's green jacket and the cute little yellow tie.
And surrounded by a cast of character elves who help with the baking process.
Names like Elmer, Zoot, and of course, our favorite, Buckets.
Right, Buckets.
You know what Buckets did, right?
He's the one who puts the buckets of fudge on the uncommonly good cookies. That's Buckets, I believe.
All providing that after all these years, a little elfin magic goes a long way.
And of course, we all love their memorable jingle. Let's hear it.
Your name Keebler?
Yes, sir.
You're an elf?
Oh, yes, sir.
That checks. I'm your local forest ranger. See? Forest ranger.
My.
Got a report you're using a tree for commercial purposes. There's even recorded evidence.
Man, you never would believe where those Keebler cookies come from. They're baked by little elves in a hollow tree. And what do you think makes those cookies uncommon? They're baked in magic ovens and there's no factory.
That was no Midsummer Night's Dream, buddy.
Well, can we discuss this over a cookie?
What kind?
How about a nice Rich Chips? That's our cookie with large chips of pure, rich chocolate. They're tastier than ever, and they're made by elves.
Delicious. But it's against regulations to bake cookies in a tree.
You're going to stop us.
Oh, golly, no. It's also against regulations to believe in elves.
Keebler, Rich Chips, uncommonly good, wherever they come from.
Do you hear that? Midsummer Night's Dream, a Shakespeare reference, a very intelligent brand, too.
Well, accepting the greatest icon award for the Keebler Elves is...
Oh.
Dan, this is your line.
This is it. Line, Mr. Dick Kodiak, Senior Brand Marketing Director for the Keebler Elves. Dick Kodiak.
So on behalf of the Keebler Company, we take great pride in knowing that the Keebler Elves are among advertising's greatest icons, thanks to the Museum of Broadcast Communications. So the Keebler Elves were originally born at our advertising agency, Leo Burnett Worldwide, right here in Chicago. In fact, I'm very pleased to say that a few of the key folks that were part of that, Peter Lohmeyer, T.S. Eliot, and Sig Bojewitz, are here in attendance with us today, and super excited to be able to meet these guys. So the Keebler Elves, they were created, like I said, here in Chicago back in 1969. They've lived in the famous hollow tree that you've seen in the commercials and on packages, and that's where they do all their baking in the magic ovens, of course. So as head baker and spokeselves, Ernie Keebler, he's the most famous, but as you heard mentioned, there are a bunch of others. He's not the only one. He's just kind of the head guy. But there are a number of other ones, so J.J. Keebler, Ma Keebler, Chloe the Taste Tester Elf, and Zoot, one of the teen elves that you've seen, that have all made it within our advertising. And Ernie and the Keebler Elves, they are looking forward to their own character feature week here at the museum, July 28th to the 31st. And I just wanted to say, on behalf of the nearly 30,000 employees of Keebler Worldwide, Kellogg and Keebler Worldwide, we thank you very much for this honor.
We'll let the debate continue between the cookie division and the cracker division. Thank you very much, and Dick and Amy, we thank you very much as well. Next up into the spotlight is Charlie the Tuna. And here to present America's most lovable fish is a member of the NBC5 Chicago sports team, a newcomer to Chicago. It's great to have him, Siafa Lewis. Siafa?
Good evening, everybody. I am the newbie, in fact. And speaking of sports, the Cavs just retook the lead. It's 56-55 over the Bulls in the third. It's going back and forth, tight game. The Cubs lead the Brewers 4-1 in the bottom of the fifth. The White Sox game was postponed. Back to the topic at hand. The creative pitch for Charlie the Tuna must have gone something like this. We're proposing a beatnik tuna spokesman who constantly gets rejected by Starkist. But it was right on strategy. Starkist only takes the best tasting tuna. Charlie tried a variety of antics to trick Starkist into accepting him, his ultimate dream, but it wasn't meant to be. Sophisticated humor that still stands up today. Tom Rogers, who created the character at Leo Burnett in 1961 here in Chicago, of course, supposedly based Charlie on a hipster friend of his from New York's East Village. Charlie became so popular, the spots led to two catchphrases, "Sorry, Charlie," and Charlie's end line, "Tell him Charlie sent you." They remain as funny as ever.
Charlie, you know a Hollywood star? Yeah. Who? Him.
I say Charles, sweetheart.
Come on, I knew you when you wore braces.
Booby.
I'm with a celebrity, Starkist. How's that for good taste?
Chucky, Starkist doesn't want tunas with good taste.
Starkist wants tunas that taste good.
Sorry, Charlie. Only good-tasting tuna get to be Starkist. Good-tasting 100% tuna fillet.
This is good-tasting tuna.
Get good taste.
Get Starkist.
I'm trying to be healthy and watch my figure. All these commercials are making me really hungry. Accepting the Greatest Icon Award for Charlie the Tuna, Vice President Marketing and Innovation, Corporate Affairs, Frank Pogue.
Thank you all so much. On behalf of Starkist, beloved spokesfish, Charlie the Tuna, and our 4,000 employees worldwide, we are honored to accept this award. We want to thank the Museum of Broadcast Communication for putting together such a fantastic event, and for the honor of getting an opportunity to stand in front of all these famous icons as we celebrate their impact on the consumer business. Charlie began his rise to fame in '58 when the advertising campaign was pulled together in a very commodity-based business. And Leo Burnett, again, another impact of Leo Burnett in this city, in the work they've done in creating Charlie the Tuna to stand out for great taste. When they pulled this together, and we mentioned Tom Rogers, as he pulled this together, he wasn't messing around. He pulled together some pretty big heavyweights to accomplish the creation of Charlie the Tuna. He had Pink Panther co-creator Fritz Freelig to assist in his creation, and Chuck Jones, famous for his work with Bugs Bunny and Warner Brothers, was hired to create the physical character keys. A number of great animators were associated with the product, and Charlie the Tuna came to be quite a distinguished character. Charlie came to life in '61 when television commercials hit the air, and Herschel Bernardi voiced the fish as part of the commercial, and he melded this really great Brooklyn cool with Broadway class in creating what Charlie was. Pretty neat for a fish that had a death wish. But as we mentioned, nothing's more famous than his classic line, sorry, Charlie, Starkist doesn't want tuna with good taste. They want tuna that tastes good. So again, on behalf of the Starkist Company, I want to thank the museum and the group that pulled this together for honoring us and honoring all these icons. Thank you very much.
Next up is an icon who's been wandering around on four legs most of the day today, enjoying himself. Here to present the Ad Icon Medallion to Morris the Cat is the anchor of the WGN Morning Weekend News, a man who's staying up way, way late tonight. Please welcome Sean Lewis.
Bruce, I hope I'm not the one that has to be on all fours right now. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I took a double, thank you. Extra Zyrtec today for this award, by the way. When a cat named, just get it out of your system, it's okay. When a cat named Larry entered the casting room in 1968, he had so much charm that the art director in charge said, he is the Clark Gable of cats. Some of you know, some of you may not know that Lucky, at the time, was a resident of the Hinsdale Humane Society. But from that day on, a star was born. His finicky attitude connected with every cat owner in America, because that's the way cats are. Am I right, Amy Jacobson? Thank you, Amy. Oh, she's taking selfies. I just had to listen to her about her cat for 5 minutes. The dry voice over captured the attitude of Morris perfectly. Morris became so famous, in fact, that he had his own personal secretary answering his mail, a human, imagine, on the staff of a cat. Every household, again, in America that owns a cat. He made appearances in movies, on Oprah Winfrey's show, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Since the original Morris, every Morris has carried on that tradition of having been a rescue cat. And now, the original.
Here, sweetie. Come, sweetie.
Sweetie. My name is Morris. Does she have to call me Sweetie?
Here's something new for Din
Din Din. I'll eat when I'm ready. First, I want to check the weather. I'm stepping out tonight.
Come on. It's new 9 Live Super Supper. It's good for fussy eaters like you.
Is that so? Well, we'll see about that. Oh, that's smart. Now, what's so super about 9 Live Super Supper? Fish, chicken, liver, kidney, meat.
See, sweetie, all your favorite num-nums in one can.
Hey, with food like this, you can call me anything, but call me.
New 9 Live Super Supper. Fish, chicken, liver, kidney, and meat. The natural combination of 5 natural num-nums.
And accepting the Greatest Icon Award for Morris the Cat, brand manager of 9 Lives, Jenny Way. Jenny? You're going to love this, by the way.
We are so honored to be here today to accept this award from the Museum of Broadcast. As you know, Morris represents the true American success story, given his rise from his humble beginnings as a rescue cat to an iconic spokescat for 9 Lives cat food. Given the popularity of internet cat culture and celebrity cats today, we decided to reboot Morris last year and reintroduce him as the original celebrity cat. As you saw in this previous commercial, Morris was very finicky and had his unique personality and point of view. Recently, we've rebooted him as more charmingly choosy, where he has his unique personality and has something to say about everything. He's a beloved, iconic character so closely tied to the 9 Lives brand that he speaks to consumers of every generation. Morris hasn't forgotten his humble beginnings and wants to help all cats live well like he does because of 9 Lives cat food. So Morris has been pretty busy today chatting up the press, so his voice is a little bit tired, but he has written, yes, he can also write in addition to speak, a few words that he would like me to share. I'm so grateful to the Museum of Broadcast Communications for this tremendous honor. For an advertising mascot, this is basically the Oscars. You know, when I was a kitten at the Hinsdale Humane Society just outside the city, I never dreamed of becoming a successful spokescat and achieving international fame. Mostly, I dreamed of mice. But life's been pretty amazing so far, and I've got 8 more left. How cool is that? I also want to congratulate my fellow honorees. All of you are truly ameowsing, and I was personally glad to see such a high representation of orange cats in the bunch. Here's looking at you, Tony. Now let's celebrate.
Now, how long will it take for that to be on YouTube? It's already there. Thank you, Jenny, and Sean, thank you very much. Our next honoree is Mr. Clean, and Mr. C from P&G has more than one Chicago connection. My late brother-in-law, Bob Ryan, was an ad art director who was the prototype and part of the formal pitch team to Procter & Gamble. To present the Icon medallion, we are looking for a look-alike. And actually, we found a couple here this evening. Dean Richards was just one, but we found one even better. He is from WGN Radio, the host from WGN Radio, and a longtime vice president of the museum. Welcome, David Plyer.
Thank you. Please be seated. First of all, I do think there is some level of discrimination here, Bruce. I did get my head polished for tonight, though. Mr. Clean was created by Chicago ad agency Tatham, Laird, and Kudner in 1957. The original direction given to the artist by the agency and Procter & Gamble, a genie, bald and muscular with a ring in his nose. The artist toned him down, less genie-like, with a ring in his ear, and Mr. Clean was born. He began as an animated character, briefly went live action, then back to animation, where he has remained. His background always remained a bit mysterious until Leo Burnett came out with a computer-generated campaign in 2013, giving him a backstory. A guy who was born to clean, going around the country helping people just do that. Listen to Mr. Clean's classic jingle.
Meet Mr. Clean, Procter & Gamble's new all-purpose liquid cleaner.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it.
Floors, doors, walls, halls, white sidewall, tires, and old golf balls.
Sinks, stoves, bathtubs he'll do. He'll even help clean laundry too.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it. Can he clean a kitchen sink?
Quicker than a wink.
Can he clean a window sash?
Faster than a flash.
Can he clean a dirty mirror?
He'll make it bright and clearer.
Can he clean a diamond ring?
Mr. Clean cleans anything.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
What's amazing to me is these commercials were a minute long. I mean, think about our attention span now. We get ticked off of a 10-second commercial on our iPhones. This is a minute we had to sit through. Accepting the greatest icon award for Mr. Clean is Communications Director of Starcom, Jennifer Mathis. Jennifer?
I don't know how I follow a cat with sunglasses on, but I'm gonna try. So, Mr. Clean has been around as long as his product has, since 1957, and he's been helping clean homes ever since. The products were first described as magic in a bottle, which led to the inspiration for Mr. Clean to look like a genie. Within 6 months of making his national debut, Mr. Clean was the top household cleaner in the US, and he quickly became a legendary icon, inspiring Halloween costumes year after year, and even being named one of People's Sexiest Man Alive in 1998. Mr. Clean and his catchy jingle have been a main component of our advertising since the beginning, and helping to take the work out of housework. On behalf of Mr. Clean and his team, thank you for honoring him tonight and the Museum of Broadcast Communication exhibit. Thank you.
We're having the opportunity tonight to see a lot of classic commercials, and I want to remind everyone, for those who have been here or are visiting for the first time, the museum has an archives of over 85,000 hours of American television. A significant portion of that is our advertising archives, and the proceeds of our event this evening will go to expand that and make it available on a bigger and broader basis for future researchers and also for future events like this when we can look back at some of the greats of advertising. Here to present our next honoree is Tony the Tiger. Tony's been around a long time. He's a man who really has made the entire evening this evening possible. I referenced him earlier, a very generous and talented man. He is the political analyst of WGN Television, the host of Politics Tonight on CLTV, and a veteran of Comcast Channel 100. Please welcome Paul Lisnek.
Thank you, and good evening. If I can indulge for a moment, since it's kind of the big night for me in terms of the gallery, it's the first night I've seen it. So I just wanted to say a couple things about it. The way this started, Bruce came over to my house one evening for some wine. I offered some nice cheese. He said, "Do you have any nuts?" And so we put out peanuts. But anyway, I showed him around some of my collection, and I should have known. A couple days later, I got a phone call, and he said, "Let's meet for lunch." That was the sign. And you turn around a little bit later, but I'll tell you what, so happy that I did it. And one of the reasons that I'm so proud to have the gallery here is because when I see this incredible, iconic exhibit that's going on now, and to know that through the years and the decades, other kinds of exhibits will be available to the public, that's really cool. And so this really isn't about me. This is really about the fact that it's giving the opportunity to bring such important exhibits to Chicago, which will be so well received, and I'm very honored to be a part of that. The fun part about it is doing these kinds of things, and people see you and they go, "You're alive?" You're supposed to be dead when you do these things, but I say do it when you're alive. All right. One last story I have to tell you, because Bruce, you don't even know this. So in the gallery downstairs, you saw among the things that I've given here, there's a bit from some jewelry from Family Affair. Great, iconic show, right? Celebrates 50 years next year, Family Affair. And my guest, my house guest actually, for a while, she's here doing a movie, is Kathy Garver, who played Sissy in Family Affair, the older sister. You're going to see Kathy in just a moment. But here's the thing. When Kathy first stayed with me, she looked at all the stuff that I had, and she said, "You don't have anything from Family Affair." And I said, "No, I don't." She said, I'm gonna bring you something. So she brought me some jewelry that she wore in a show, in an episode called The Hippie, where, I guess, she was a hippie. And so the way they did those shows back then, the way that Don Feddersen, who created the shows like Family Affair, My Three Sons, you couldn't get people like Brian Keith and Fred McMurray to hang around for a season. So they brought them in for 3 hours, did all their scenes, and let them go. And then they would take weeks to film everything else. Well, in this particular scene, Kathy did a scene with Brian Keith wearing this jewelry that she had to wear. Brian leaves. 3 months later, they now film the rest of the scene. And they said, "Kathy, you've got to bring back that jewelry you wore." Kathy said, I don't know where it is. So they sent a prop person out to try and find jewelry that looked like it. And they did. And the jewelry you see hanging down there is what they were able to find. If you watch the episode from season 3, you will see the miscontinuity there. You will see she's wearing one pendant, then another one later on. Well, as she came to stay with me this week to do a movie, she said, "Paul, after all of these decades, I found it." And so, Bruce, she's given this to me. We'll figure out a way to get it part of the exhibit, but this is the original pendant that she wore, and so the continuity is now complete. Thank you, Kathy, for that. All right, Tony the Tiger. Tony the Tiger had to audition for his role. It's hard to believe because, to me, Bruce said, "Who's your favorite among these?" And I love all of them, but I'm like, Tony. He auditioned with 3 other characters in 1952. The work sent to me by the museum did not tell me who Tony beat out, so I'm going to tell you. Tony beat out. First, I thought it was Chicago politics, like Daley counted the votes or something, but no. Here's who Tony was up against. Katie the kangaroo, Elmer the elephant, and Newt the gnu. Instead of them, you got Tony the Tiger. Good choice. His star quality quickly went to the top. Those were the days when the word sugar came in front of Frosted Flakes, which is what I love about you folks in advertising. Sugar, get rid of it. What is it now? Frosted Flakes. They'll never know. Right, if you're under 20, what was KFC except KFC? Anyway, Tony started out small in stature. He walked on all fours, I guess like Morris the cat. He grew over the years, and now he stands upright over 6 feet tall. He's muscular. It's kind of hot. Somebody wants a... Sorry, sir. His personality went from the bumbling 50s character to the current role model, encouraging kids to be active, to play sports. Throughout, he has always been a trusted friend. I absolutely love him. Everybody knows his signature line. I'm supposed to say it. Please do it with me. They're great. Good. Good job. It was voiced by Thurl Ravenscroft for 50 years. Today, the ever-popular striped star, this was as close as I could get to a Tony outfit, has expanded his role as Goodwill Ambassador for the Kellogg Company. Take a look.
Here comes Tony the Tiger. Hi! Tried Kellogg's Sugar Frosted Flakes yet? They're great. Yes, sir, gang. Frosted Flakes are grr. On me, boy. Throw the spotlight on me. On me. Oh, no! I got a better idea, son. Let's let the man do the talking.
Yes, millions are talking about Kellogg's Sugar Frosted Flakes and keep coming back for these great big flakes of corn, already sweetened with Kellogg's secret sugar frosting. Add milk or cream or eat them right out of the box. And taste? Well, as Tony the Tiger says,
they're great! Look for this name in the corner, gang. Kellogg's Sugar Frosted Flakes.
I'm one of those people. I sit and eat Frosted Flakes out of the box directly. I really do. I love them. Accepting the Greatest Icon Award for my hero, Tony the Tiger, Senior Vice President of Marketing and Innovation for Tony the Tiger. Please meet Noel Jovois.
Thanks so much. It's great to be here. On behalf of the Kellogg Company, I couldn't be more proud to accept the honor for Tony the Tiger as one of advertising's greatest icons. Tony was the invention of the Kellogg Company's ad agency, Leo Burnett Worldwide. We have lots of our Leo Burnett partners here tonight, so thank you to all of you who continue to help us bring Tony, that lovable contemporary character, to life for all children here still today. Tony has been a standout amongst consumers since he got into the marketplace in 1953. He's been our official spokesperson for Kellogg's Frosted Flakes cereal ever since. He's also, as we mentioned earlier, really a spokesperson for the Kellogg Company. So he is a very, very important spokesperson for all of us company-wide. He's appeared in TV commercials, in magazines, newspapers, point-of-sale materials, and of course, the iconic character on the front of the Frosted Flakes box. I hope you'll join us in spreading the word about Tony the Tiger's Feature Week here at the museum, July 14th through the 18th. And again, thank you to all the Kellogg's employees, the Leo Burnett folks, who continue to help us keep Tony relevant, contemporary, and fun. We just finished a new Tony commercial today, and I'm proud to say he's now in 3D. So next time you see him on TV, he's continuing to evolve and become a contemporary spokesperson. Thank you very much.
Noel, thank you very much for referencing, as did an earlier speaker, that each of these 10 icons between actually starting in early June through the end of the run on October 31st, each of the icons will have a full week where they will be spotlighted here at the museum. And a number of the companies are providing, whether it's free admission or look-alike contests, coupon give-backs. There's all kinds of creativity going on. And again, we're very pleased to have Ronald McDonald on the bench right outside our museum. So again, to these icon companies, we thank them very much for not only celebrating tonight and the launch, but also remembering that this is going to be here until October 31st, and we'll continue to send people through the doors or bring people through the doors each and every day. Our final icon tonight has been waking up Americans around the breakfast table for decades. Together, they are Snap, Crackle, and Pop. Here to honor them is one of the co-stars of the 1960s television classic sitcom Family Affair, who's in town working on a new film with another child star of the 60s, Paul Peterson from The Donald Reed Show. Please welcome the aforementioned Kathy Garver.
Thank you very much, Bruce. Well, it looks like Sissy might have to put on her glasses for this presentation. I mean, I hate to admit that next year, 2016, is the 50th anniversary of Family Affair. I personally don't know how that can be since I'm 39. Maybe my evil twin, or as Morris the cat would say, I'm forever young. I like that line. But for this icon, I would like to say that the words came first. Snap, crackle, and pop. Those three words appeared on the Rice Krispies box, representing the sound of the cereal. It was a great idea by ad agency NWR. Then, in 1933, the words came to life by a storybook artist in the form of three gnomes. I really like that because they're about the same size as me. 5'1", I am. They were Kellogg's first ever spokes characters. You know what? I don't think I even need my glasses for this. Oh, yes, I do. All right, hello, Light. Three brothers, Snap, the oldest and the problem solver, Crackle, the fun-loving middle child, and Pop, the jokesters. They began appearing in commercials in 1955 on the Howdy Doody show. But their looks were modified over the ages and the years. They had big belt buckles in the 60s. Well, who didn't? Well, we wore them in Family Affair in the 60s. But they're the same three rascals today. And I see that they were even appearing today in the form of our Rice Krispies cheesecake lollipops. Did any of you have any of those? They were a very delicious treat. Thank you very much, caterers. Thank you, Bruce. I want to say also that their jingle, as some of my former presenters have said, were fabulous, and let's take a listen.
Sing along for Kellogg's Rice Krispies. Snap, what a happy sound. Snap is the happiest sound I've found. You may clap, rap, tap, slap, but snap makes the world go round. Snap, crackle, pop, Rice Krispies. I say it's crackle, the crispy sound. You gotta have crackle or the clock's not wound. Geese cackle, feathers tickle, belts buckle, beats pickle, but crackle makes the world go round. Snap, crackle, pop, Rice Krispies. Now I insist that pop's the sound. The best is missed unless pop's around. You can't stop hopping when the cereal's popping. Join us, won't you? Snap, crackle, Rice Krispies. Snap, I say it's crackle. What a happy sound. You gotta have the happiest sound I've found. You may clap, crackle, rap, the stickle, bounce, buckle, beats, pickle. Snap, crackle, makes the world go round.
Not love those guys. I mean, you just gotta love them. And I love Paul Lisnick, by the way. Thank you, Paul, for hanging me in your gallery. And along with my faux pendant, now you're going to really have the original thing. Accepting the, excuse me. Oh, there we go. Accepting the Greatest Icon Award for Snap, Crackle, and Pop, we have VP Global Marketing for Snap, Crackle, and Pop, Larry Bruck.
Well, on behalf of Kellogg, this is a wonderful award, and just to be considered within the scope of all these wonderful characters is a real honor. I must admit, though, as I walked up here, somehow Kathy got my speech and told everything I was about to say. It's a wonderful story here, and one of the themes I think that's popping up from tonight is many of these characters really come from some product insight and the truth about the product. And that's certainly the case with Snap, Crackle, and Pop. The cereal was introduced in 1928, and the sound and everything was really starting to come through. And if you can imagine if there was social media at the time, how that would have taken off. But it found its way to the packaging. And in 1933, Kellogg brought a very famous illustrator in, a gentleman named Vernon Grant, and asked him to create the characters. And you can imagine this creative brief. Vernon, come on in. Here, we got some cereal. We're going to pour some milk on it. Here, listen to that. We need a character. Well, Vernon nailed it. Vernon absolutely nailed that. And what was interesting is they actually started out with just Snap. And Snap was so successful that within 2 years, the other two characters came forward. And they started to appear on the package, in print, in store, and in the late 1950s into broadcast television. And that's where Leo Burnett really took hold of these characters and nurtured them for years and years and years. And I must admit, you think of the longevity of a character, and oftentimes in the public, what you see is what's great. And what you don't see is behind the scenes when there's a bad idea that somebody is suggesting. And it is the brilliance of the art directors and the creative copywriters that really know the scope and where the characters should live, how they should come to life, and how they should prosper in the market. So tonight, in addition to the celebration of these wonderful characters, I think we also need to acknowledge the characters behind the characters, and that's the art directors and the copywriters that have done such a fabulous job decade after decade on these wonderful characters. So to all of you, there's many of you here tonight, there's many that have touched this brand for years and years. A big thank you. And also a big thank you to the Museum of Broadcast Communication. Kellogg is thrilled for this honor. Thank you.
Following up on that last point, one of the things that, as part of this exhibition, in addition to the storytelling and the storyboards and the memorabilia and the great commercials that Steve Jakowski has put together to share with us tonight, we also have first-person oral histories with many of the creative people who are no longer with us. And they will play throughout the exhibition in the Polk Theater on a regular basis, not just 30 or 60 seconds, but long conversations with the men and women behind these great creations. I want to thank all of our presenters for joining us tonight, and to advertising's greatest icon. And a special thanks to the current teams of men and women who we have met this evening, who have been entrusted with preserving and expanding an icon's status. And those creative leadership teams that we have recognized tonight, many of whom are no longer with us. We also want to remind everyone that this exhibition will run through October 31st in the Paul M. Lisnick Gallery, and again, as referenced, throughout each of the months as they unfold, there will be a specific focus week starting in June. The first week in June will be the Raid Bugs. They will kick off the special focus weeks here at the museum. In closing, tonight we have recognized advertising's greatest icons who have withstood the test of time, became a part of American popular culture, helped define great American consumer companies, and who demonstrate their popularity today around the world. Tonight we honor a remarkable class of ad icons, and now it's time to continue the celebration. Thank you again, and good night.